because we are going to be on a delay once again. So we will have a lower third of the draft, and immediately IG are like, no leasing for you, sir. They banned that one straight away.
And the thing I love, right, we get Doinb Kled once again. Not only Doinb Kled, we get Nuguri Irelia. So that same like side lane prowess that you were just talking about, definitely able to come out for FPX this time around, but still amazing in skirmishes. You know they're going to be looking for these early brawls. For the side of IG, we get the Taric coming out. So something that is extremely good against champions like the Kled, like the Irelia, right? Not as potent against Diana, because Taric is really good against all-in champions that have like damage over time, right? Like that put out consistent DPS, but Diana's burst should be able to get off before a Taric ultimate can come out. So I really actually like what IG's put together. It's very interesting, but I mean, you know, it has to be said, FPX are heavy favorites. We just said in the last series, maybe in terms of who's beaten who right now, you can argue RA is the best team, but I think second best team. But in terms of on paper, I think FPX have looked like absolutely scary and only getting better with each series, which is the even scarier part.
Yeah, that's the part that's really terrifying, is FPX just you can tell this is a team that is warming up for Worlds. This is a team that's looking far beyond just LPL playoffs right now, and I genuinely believe if FPX can maintain the form that they've had, and certainly the form that they had towards the end of last split as well, I genuinely think that this is a team that will make it to the Worlds Championship from the LPL, and I genuinely think that they'll be one of the favorites going into that tournament. If they can maintain this form, and that's a big if, they'll have to wait and see, because there's certainly been question marks around a couple of the players for FPX. Certainly at the very, very beginning of this split, and at times throughout last split as well. Like in the finals, for example, Lwx and Crisp definitely really didn't have a good finals. Tian has had a few question marks thrown around him as well, so it feels like this is one of those rosters that there's a lot to build up on. Are you okay, neny? So someone get over there and give that man a hug.
You know, realizing right now he's not only filling in for the Shy, right? He's not only filling in for a world champion, now he has to lane against the world champion, so quite an interesting journey for this. So speaking of world champions, though, you know, the hype matchup coming today is definitely Doinb versus Rookie, two former world champions, the two world champions from the LPL. And right, we've hit on the Rookie talking point quite a bit, not in that same godly form where he's going to 1v9 the game for IG, but I still feel like in terms of individual play, he is still quite good. My big thing with IG is just their decision making is absolutely all over the place. And by that, I mean, like, they contest everything at every point in time. It doesn't matter when they're champions like spike, it doesn't matter what they're doing. It's like, oh, the enemy team's fighting for bottom side Scuttle Crab, we're fighting for bottom side Scuttle Crab. Oh, they're on Rift Herald, that's our Rift Herald. They'll go in, maybe they'll be missing like key abilities, or when we saw the Diana Yasuo combo come out, you're like, hey, you know, this needs time, this needs to scale. You can't be fighting champions like Xin Zhao right now. And then they'll give over kills, and it'll be like a slow bleed for IG. It's never necessarily like one big moment where like that's where IG lost the game, like when they fought EDG with the Flandre Gwen pop off. Most games it's like, okay, they did this at like 5 minutes, they did this at 10 minutes, and this at 15 minutes, where enemy team was able to get like a 5k gold lead.
Yeah, so basically what you're saying, the TLDR of all that is IG are alpha Chad gamers that never let anything go. Whether that's correct or incorrect, they don't care. They just want to fight. And you know what? Isn't that the IG that we've always been witnessing? And ladies and gentlemen, we are jumping into the game now. And importantly, I just want to update everyone. This is live now. There was an in-game issue for Crisp. That's all been resolved. There was a technical pause that has meant we were able to catch up to the live show.
Yeah, and you know, with catching up, we also come into a world where Lucas now has no summoners, no flash available. Lwx and Crisp have both burned heal and ignite, so definitely was some sort of brawl or gank down in the bottom side. Definitely going to be favored for the side of FPX right now without Lucas having that flash up. Going to have to be wary of any ganks coming in, but at least now doesn't have to worry about that with neny getting vision on top of Tian. And it seems like both junglers should just be able to trade Scuttle Crabs on the opposite side, as we see Shun on the bottom side of the map and Tian top. neny does have Prio, and he can see that Tian is low. Rookie has push as well, so this actually might be an angle where IG can even try and contest that top side Scuttle, but I'm not sure if neny will feel too much threat from Nuguri to look for something like that.
Shun looks like he's considering the idea of a level 4 dive here. The Krugs are not up. Crisp has arrived back in the lane, though. Crisp is going to face check in, sees the level 4 jungler. Crisp is only level 2, but he'll be okay for now. That's going to be a lot of damage, though. And again, the threat of this dive, I'm not sure they can go for it just yet. Lucas won't be tanky enough to just walk at the tower. He's already used his summoners. I don't know what has been happening in this bottom lane, but Crisp had to go for an early recall. You can see 2 summoners used by FPX, 2 on the side of IG as well.
And I feel like IG maybe were trying to hopefully be in a position where their soul laners would be able to follow up. We actually saw that in the last IG series where they went for a 5-man dive bot. I think it was at 4 minutes against LGD. Of course, this time around, neny was actually catching a massive wave at his turret, and Rookie was in a really awkward place to be able to follow up as well, where Doinb probably could have been able to stop that. So not able to come around, at least going to be able to put some pressure and deny a little bit from Lwx and Crisp. And yeah, we're going to pan back to this mid lane matchup, which isn't one we get to see all too commonly. Akali has a decent time in it because you can just continuously trade with your 5-point strike, right? But in my eyes, you should really never have kill pressure of the Kled, and especially at the level 6 mark, Kled has potentials to find those all-ins, and when first item comes out, you know the Gore Drinker, you are quite strong.
You certainly are. The Gore Drinker just... Man, it's such an insane split.
Well, maybe you don't need a Gore Drinker.
Doinb is just diving a tier 2 here. Lucas is going to be able to stun him up, but Doinb getting close to getting back onto Skarl again. Man, Doinb is having the split of his life. This might be the best form the guy's ever been in.
The guy's absolutely popping off. This is why you and Dom put him #1 in the LPL right now, right? Out of all players, above people like Viper who are popping off, and Mako, or people like Ming from Spring. There's so many names that, you know, Doinb right now is outshining. It's very reasonable to have him that high on the list. And he goes for the all-in.
Rookie.
And I'm so surprised, right? Because Rookie was like 50 to 60% HP. Doinb's not even level 6. Just gets off the combo, ease in, has an auto, throws out the Q as well, follows up with another auto, and it just clean. Clean play coming out from Doinb.
I was talking about how I was kind of bigging up FPX, right? Saying, look, when we get towards Worlds, this is, in my mind, the team that is going to be the favorite from LPL. Well, Doinb is a massive portion of my faith in this team. Like, Doinb is just on another level right now. It feels impossible to ban him out. It feels like there was always that conversation of Doinb, yeah, he's really great at playing the map, but he's not so good in the laning phase. That's not even true anymore. Now he's good at both. It feels like there are so few weaknesses for Doinb, and Nuguri going for an all-in onto neny, not one that he's actually winning, though.
To be fair about the Doinb point, though, that wasn't even true last year. Doinb in lane last year was a solid mid laner, like really good item, like top 5 in the LPL. Ooh, big dive coming out.
Oh my goodness, Rookie's in trouble again. Doinb there as Tian just out gets... Wait, Rookie's followed him up, finished him off. Sacrificed himself to get a kill. But now here we go. Crisp and Doinb versus Shunt and neny, but a TP coming in from Nuguri as well. Doinb looking to get the rage back up. neny flashed away from by Doinb, who Skarl was about to arrive back into the play. Dives onto neny once more, but he's gone too deep this time. Doinb taken down, and comes Wink on the backside of the play. Gets the slow onto Crisp. Flashes underneath the tower and takes him out with the Ren.
And if there's two teams that you know are going to be the complete opposite of our last series, it's FPX and IG. They love to fight. They love to go for these brawls. This one was started off by FPX, right? Wanting to repeat that play of not only a solo dive this time around, trying to send numerous members to look for that dive on mid lane. But this time, IG were expecting it. Shun's already here, able to get off the stun onto Tian, so he's going to take a ton of damage. Rookie follows it up to be able to pick up the kill, but does go down in the end. But guess what? neny made his way down first, did TP in towards the mid lane. They're going to be able to keep going, follow up on the kills onto members like Doinb and Chris. But actually, it's going to be Doinb who wants to go in and try to find some more kills himself. Sadly, neny doesn't go down. Wink going to follow up. Does go for the Ren, gets the slow, and then flashes forward because we did already see Chris blow out his flash just a few seconds before.
Yeah, really nice play from Wink as well, knowing he has a Rend available on a minion to get the reset so he can go for the kill onto Crisp. Doinb, right after I've praised him massively for the entire start of the game, goes for a 1v3 dive on the back end of that play. Perhaps a little overzealous from our man in the mid lane, but You know what? I think that's all that matters. We're going to have the Herald taken here by Tian. He knows that he's got priority in his mid lane, knows that he can just go for that one right now. As Lucas and Wink will have massive pressure onto Lwx, who has just been farming this entire time. Lwx has just been sat in this bottom lane, still somehow down in XP though. He must have been zoned a massive amount over the course of this game so far.
Yeah, now even going to be zoned away even more with how far Wink's playing up, and they know that Shun is around on the bottom side of the map, so IG doing a nice job early on, going to be able to pick up the dragon, and right, we can talk about like macro elements and what teams should be looking to do, but I'll be completely straight with you, Munchables. I feel like this is going to turn into a bunch of skirmishes. It's going to be knife fight after knife fight after knife fight. I do really like FPX's comp in terms of how it can try to influence the other lanes, especially now that Doinb does have pressure. He is level 8, so he does have that ultimate available and can start looking to make side plays around the map. We see Nuguri having solid 1v1 pressure in top side. He actually has a massive CS advantage as well, but so far we're just seeing the isolated lanes stick to how they are. Tian gonna have a lot of kill pressure with either soul lane, you know, with the AD AP setup. Doesn't have flash available, but his ult is back up.
To the surprise of no one, Nuguri doing very well in his laning phase, having a bit of a CS advantage for himself that he'll be able to turn into about a 20 CS advantage off the back of this minion wave. He could even set this up with a freeze if he so wishes, which looks like he is actually just going to clear this one up. But neny, I think, hit the mark, right? If you're correct in your prediction of how this one's going to go, it's going to be a lot down to skirmishers, as neny could be in trouble himself here. Vanguard's Edge not going to be used here to force the fight from Nuguri. Just looking for an attempt, looking for an opportunity. They don't find it for now. Lucas has moved into the mid lane here, which Herald isn't available. Not entirely sure what the game plan is inside of IG, why Lucas is just moving mid to try and clear the wave. Rookie now getting aggressive on fight. Doinb, Shun is around as well. There's a stun coming on through. The Shroud in play. There's invulnerability across the side of IG. And they find themselves a kill to Doinb. That is a great solar flare. Nothing there to follow up on it, but it looked really nice.
Yeah, you know, I love how not only after we praise Doinb so much, talk about best player in LPL, etc., we see, you know, numerous moments where he's getting punished / punishing himself. He goes in for that all in, but we talked about Taric specifically, really good against champions like Kled and Irelia, and now Lwx. Oh, not in a good position, but they don't have a way.
Oh, good flash, but Lucas is pulled out by the Fates pull. So well played by IG, and now Crisp, he wants to punish, he wants to do something, but I'm not sure he's got the damage. He can't lock anyone down. This team is so slippery from IG. They're going to race for first tower, though. And Doinb will be able to finish that one off before anyone on the side of IG can. Wink will answer. He'll at least get the 5 plates, but he won't get first tower.
And this is what neny was talking about before the game, is you got to be wary of how FPX are going to respond and play out the map. They are able to get turret down in mid, but man, IG is just such a weird team. But we don't have time to talk about that because neny being threatened with a dive. Doinb does still have ult up, but looks like IG don't want to go for this. They know the members of, FPX don't want to go for this, I'm sorry. They know the members of IG are coming off resets after that bot side play, so they could expect members like Shun or Lucas to be able to follow up easily. Rookie also still has the TP, so if anything goes down and neny can buy some time with Flash and Ultimate, Rookie would be able to follow up as well. And now 1 turret to 1 turret, a bit of a gold lead for the side of IG, and that's why they're so weird. It seems like IG will always like pull the opponent they play like down to their level, right? Because they do make it so skirmishy, so like heavy in terms of fighting, that we haven't really seen any team be able to decisively stomp them 2 games so far yet. Almost always 1 game has been extremely contested back and forth, and now we get to see if IG will be able to close this one out. They do have quite good team fighting, right? You have a lot of damage to allow Shun to find those resets on the Viego, and you have a really good way of stopping champions like Kled and Irelia from being able to get ahead in terms of the Taric. So it feels like a lot of work is going to be on Tian and Lwx's shoulders.
Oh, neny. Neny, my friend, you may have gone too far here. The flash, the ulti, everything comes out, but it's just not enough to escape. My goodness. This Kled and Diana combo is so good at chasing those kills down. I mean, neny used everything. I think he played that as well as he could have.
I feel like as neny, you probably want to try and hold those until after the Kled ult comes out. There's still a chance you get locked down and burst it out immediately. We saw him like flash, you know, the Kled ult's still going to follow you up through that, uses the ultimate, and they're just able to find the engage anyway. So that could have been an angle, but you're right. I mean, no matter what, he'd have to burn everything, would probably still go down in that exchange, and it just comes from the trade sides coming out, right? Because you look at the top side of the map, IG have all their vision down, they're taking top turret for free, and it is a bit of a trade of pressure on both sides. With Dragon coming up in about 20 seconds, though, that could be an area of strength for FPX, but actually, it looks like Rift Herald's going to come up quite soon as well, so maybe, I assume both teams probably just going to fight around that one.
Oh, nicely done here by IG. The TP on the bottom side from Rookie stops the trade of towers from FPX. So, importantly, keeping that last plate alive as well, as the plates have just ticked off. And it's interesting to see the difference in priorities for the two teams, right? Because this TP obviously also going to set up for the Drake on the side of IG. They will be able to take the second Drake for themselves. Wink has managed to get 10 plates for himself. 1,320 gold into the pocket of Wink. Whereas for the side of FPX, a lot of it came from the Herald. Tian getting a lot of that gold. Doinb getting a good chunk of gold and a bit over to Lwx as well. So when you look at the gold difference, 2,000 gold difference between the two AD carries. That is not okay for Lwx. He is in big trouble as we head towards the mid-game.
Yeah, and you know, Wink has been playing quite well, but I feel like a large part of it comes down to how IG have just been setting up and playing around their bot lane. We've seen not only dives come out, but just them like posturing around, denying Lwx from being able to farm and really pushing that to its fullest. We do see FPX still able to control top side of the map though, but with Doinb not having TP, you would think this should be able to be a Herald angle coming out from IG. I'm surprised the teams wouldn't prioritize this heavier, because it feels like this split specifically, we've seen a lot higher prioritization of teams preferring the early gold trade rather than going for early dragons, right? It feels like teams have realized we get 2 to 3k gold up, and then we start fighting at the second, at the third dragon, and that's how we win the game. That's definitely been what we've seen from a majority of LPL teams. Certainly teams like EDG still stuck in the ways of it's all about stacking those dragons, and right now they're undefeated, so definitely can't argue with that record in terms of how they play out the game.
Yeah, it definitely feels like EDG is the team that, if you want to sound clever to your friends, if you want to show that you're the guy that watches LPL that nobody else in your friend group does, and you're heading towards the World Championship and you want to sound like you know what you're talking about, just watch what EDG do. Tell everyone that's the way to play League of Legends, and you'll probably look pretty smart. I think that is a pretty surefire way to look clever right now with how they've been playing. But when we talk about this game specifically, I'm kind of surprised at how much it's slowed down. With how aggressive the very start of the game was, it felt like it was just going to keep that up the entire time. FPX have started to opt out of a lot of these plays now, where it feels like they've gone, okay, you guys are winning the early game. Let's just take a back seat. Let's try and get some more items on Lwx before we're really willing to properly contest IG again.
Well, big thing went back to that TP that you pointed out earlier, is that actually gave IG tempo when they should have been the ones losing on tempo and having to make a reset. But they TP'd bot, forced tempo on the map. As neny gonna get punished once again. Doesn't have flash this time.
I know why he needed a hook before this game. He knew he was going to be playing weak side. He knew that Doinb and Nuguri were going to be chasing him down. But Shun wants to answer. Doinb will be the target, dodges the stun though, and looks like he might just go in himself. Has to joust his way out of that one. Nuguri exhausted. In comes the rest of the team from the backline. Rookie on this Akali, diving into the squad, gets his shroud down. As one kill goes in, but a moonfall onto 4 could turn things around. But Lwx, he doesn't even exist in the game just yet. He'll be taken out. Rookie grabs a triple kill, and IG take control.
And it doesn't matter that they were the ones to get to bot side first. IG rotated their members over. They found the fight. We saw how big the Taric is in these exchanges. Pops the ultimate. Nothing for FPX to do in these fights. And then Tian does find a massive ultimate, but you pretty much already have 2 members of FPX either dead or just about to go down, so you're not able to follow up on it with any damage. And then IG clean it up with Rookie's Akali. These are the types of performances we like to see. And heck, maybe neny was right. Maybe in terms of the fights, IG are better. Right now, they are definitely popping off. Rookie already getting Tian down to half HP. Doinb not able to follow up on the damage he just dealt because of that Taric ultimate coming off. And there's a Diana ultimate that you hit on. But hey, we've already seen the Irelia go down. Tian instantly, once he goes in, follows up. Chris was taken out at the very start of the fight. And then for FPX, it's just cleanup. I mean, for IG, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little bit speechless right now, Lwx, because I came into this series saying, hey, look, FPX, they're maybe the best team in the league right now. Blah, blah, blah. Doinb this, Lwx that, Nuguri the other. And now we get into the game, and this IG squad that have been, I mean, struggling is an understatement. They are 12th in the league right now. They are 2-4 on the standings against a 5-1 FPX. Against an FPX, I literally, on this cast, have said, yeah, FPX are going to go to Worlds and they'll be one of the favorites of the whole tournament. IG is crushing them right now. It's 11-3. It's a 4,000 gold lead. It's 2 Drakes already with an Infernal Soul coming up. And Rookie, 5-2-3 on an Akali as we head to the mid game. It feels like everything is going the way of IG, but Rookie in a 2v1 might have been caught out here. We'll be able to use his Shroud to buy some time. He goes in for big 3! Rookie, that is too clean, my man. Now, Sean looks for a little bit more onto Doinb. Does have Skarl. Will be able to get a bit of space with his ultimate here, and IG can't close the gap.
I mean, if there's one thing you can never question Rookie on, right, it's mechanical prowess. It's being able to execute the combo perfectly. He did it pretty much to a pixel. As neny just going to force Doinb back, but you're right. I think coming into today, right, we thought, okay, this is going to be a 2-0 series. It's IG, so there's always a chance of like a third game, but FPX heavy favorites not able to keep up, and it goes a lot to overforcing, right? We've seen time and time again. We talked about IG being the team to contest everything. It all started off from Doinb looking for those dives. The first one worked out. They found that kill onto Rookie, but then they went back for it. IG were prepared. They were able to answer, and ever since then, IG have just done such a good job of keeping pace. We're going to see the replay here. Doing a nice job already of getting some damage down. Q into the E passive, and just just the second he channels ult, once he gets in, like, the pixel for the animation is just perfect, right? Yeah. He doesn't even give any room for them to turn on to him, lock him down, stun him, get any more damage.
It's the fact that it wasn't even like, he didn't hesitate for a split second. He saw a 3/4 HP Leona, waited for the W to finish, and he's like, all right, that's a kill. He already knows it's a kill before he's even gone in. Too beautiful from Rookie. And I mean, IG just showing up today. And I want to just give a special mention to neny here, because this guy is playing weak side all game, looking amazing in the team fights, but surviving so much. Like Nuguri trying to find all in it's in the laning phase, Doinb and Nuguri pairing up to try and shut him down in the side lane as well, but managing to weather the storm and looking amazing doing it.
It's just weird to think that coming into today, you're like, okay, LNG undefeated, FPX on a complete tear, Doinb just getting a pentakill not too long ago, and then LNG now with their first loss. And right, this is only one game. FPX can definitely bounce back and take the series, if assuming IG are able to close it out cleanly, because even that is a big assumption for a team like IG. But yeah, today could be a big day of upsets in the LPL. Not something we could have seen as, you know, some big item advantages already coming out from the side of IG.
You say something we couldn't have seen coming, but this is the LPL at the end of the day. There is always, around the middle of the split, there is almost always a bunch of random upsets that happen, a bunch of teams that take wins that maybe they shouldn't be able to take. And it does feel like, hey, one of the big things we've criticized from IG is so much swapping around in the bottom lane, right? We've had a lot of AD carries playing, we've had a lot of supports playing. It doesn't feel like this roster has been very solid. Lucas and Wink, though, as this duo, and like bringing out crazy picks like this Taric that I don't think anyone would have expected to see coming in today. I've seen it a little bit in LEC. I'm not 100% sure about the rest of the regions, but it does feel like it's starting to show up in the meta, especially alongside Kalista. It does feel like IG have a good read on what they can play around the map. We've seen Wink play plenty of Kalista in the past. It feels like this support just matches the style so beautifully for IG.
And it feels like it does so well against FPX's champion pool, against a lot of bruisers that don't bring a ton of burst, that want extended fights where Taric Ultimate's going to keep them down, that need to get in melee range, so that stun's going to do so much work. And it's really succeeding against FPX right now. I really like how IG are controlling vision right, playing by the book, pushing out mid. They have neny pushing out top right now, going into the enemy jungle, trying to find those picks. I don't think they're in any position where they could try and do anything like force a Baron or bait a Baron right now, even Rookie having to go and answer that bot side wave. But he does have TP available, but a fight does break out right now.
Doinb, his TP behind Wink. He's going for the charge, but he's going to miss IG, who just looked for a fight on the rest of his team. In the meantime, Moonfall on the backline, but Tian just doesn't have the damage. It's going to be the invuln wearing off. Nuguri going in onto the backline here. IG are scattered. Rookie trying to buy time, trying to do damage. neny gets one on the backside. Nuguri falls, and now FPX in full retreat. Rookie survives, and he goes back in for more as Wink diving forwards, but he's gone too far. No, he hasn't. He survives. The healing comes through. True Shot Barrage is only going to be one for FPX as IG take yet another fight.
17-4 for IG at 23 minutes. They're gonna get a Baron off. This Dragon's up in 1 minute, which should be theirs. What an absolute mauling coming out from the side of IG. A key word used already, right, is decisiveness, and we talked about Rookie earlier on, but just IG overall being extremely decisive. To be fair, on the flip side, FPX is too, but when IG are 5k gold ahead, these aren't the fights you need to be looking to take. We saw Doinb had that angle early on, but you know, they found the all-in and IG were able to take it. So now they're going to have Baron. They're going to be able to look for their backs, assuming Nuguri can't get on someone, but I don't think Nuguri can jump into 3 people. They're going to be able to guarantee Prio now to get vision for that next Drake.
It is worth mentioning Nuguri is 0-2, which historically speaking, that's when this guy gets really strong, so we'll have to see. But I love how IG plays away from Doinb there and finds the all-in.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool that, like, they go for the pick onto Lucas, but, you know, Lucas able to be pulled out by Wink. Then he just starts playing on the backside of the fight, pretty much throwing out heals consistently, kiting out the engage, to where you have members like Rookie and neny doing all the work. Shoot able to get involved and find the resets as well. And then, I really liked Wink dodging out that next clip, but he went down in the end, so we don't need to see his dodge.
Not at all. Let's look at FPX posturing for a Drake here. They know they've got to get this one. They might just be able to do it. Shun over the wall. Heartbreaker,
oh,
and he gets it! Shun, you absolute beast, takes the soul from the open hands of FPX, and neny solo kills Doinb. Look, Lyric, if that ain't the end of the game, I don't know what is.
This isn't supposed to happen, Munch. This is a game of FPX, of LPL. This is not a game of solo queue.
Rookie, my man, what are you doing? I'm not sure. That's a 1v3 that you could go for. He's just buying time. He's stopping the recalls as IG walk into the base. Who cares about towers? We got a Volibear, scream IG, as they waltz this one home onto the towers. They turn themselves invincible. Nuguri can do naught as Wink shreds him to pieces. Crisp goes down. Tian is next on the chopping block as IG. A well-earned victory lap from them as they take some kills before finishing their Nexus. A monumentous victory, 22-4, as they take the first game against FPX.
IG just speed ran FPX. Us throwing praise, us talking about Doinb, just the whole team making worlds, making playoffs, and IG came out with a really nice game 1. I love the Taric pick. I love how Lucas played on it. I'll be honest, that'll be my guess for MVP. My guess is going to be Lucas. I think he just had so much involvement in all these fights, but even looking at people like Rookie was absolutely popping off on this Akali. We hit on just how mechanically well he was able to play. Did give over a solo kill early on. Looked like he wasn't quite expecting that damage to come out from a Kled at level 5, which I'm right there with him. You're like 60% HP. The guy doesn't have ultimate. He's able to solo dive you.
Well, he hit
crazy.
6 as he went in. That was the thing that clinched it, I think. But
I actually hit 6 off of the kill, but because I thought the same thing. It did look like it, but neny even solo killing Doinb later on. He had a great game. I think there's a lot of contenders in this game for MVP for IG, and
honestly,
I think it's pretty. Yeah, even Shun having a good performance, right? Being able to guarantee the dragon in the end. But I think a great thing for IG thinking about this match in retrospect is the fact that we said, hey, they love being a knife fight team. They love looking for brawls and skirmishes. It's not all about the macro and the map play. Well, if there's one team who's going to literally give you exactly that, it is FPX.
Yeah, that is for sure. Them and Rogue Warriors, maybe. But that was so much fun to watch, honestly. Like, I think you hit the nail on the head that every single player on IG has stepped up today. But especially, I think the support jungle duo being a part of almost every single play that happened across the course of the map. You know, There was one moment in the game, I think it was like sort of 15 minutes in, where we saw Lucas just roam to the mid lane with no Herald coming up. There was no Dragon coming up. Lucas just wandered into the mid lane because he just, I guess, had a feeling that a fight was going to happen. And then, like, immediately, like clockwork, a fight happens. It wasn't Lucas starting the fight. He was there just preemptively, I guess, because he could just feel it in his bones. And I think that little interaction, that little line of play perfectly exemplifies this entire game. Side of IG. I mean, the damage numbers, it's very high for everyone because it was just an absolute brawl. I will say I'm impressed Lwx was able to be one of the top damage dealers in that game after the early game he had to go through after being zoned away so hard and having no goal, being 2k down individually against Wink early on in the game. Pretty impressive that he's able to do anything.
Yeah, was able to have his impact. I mean, wasn't Ezreal, like, you have like 9 people just fighting in front of you, right? So you're just easily able to stay in the back and just throw out those mystic shots. But still, for both teams going forward, I think it's going to be interesting to see what kind of draft adaptations come out, right? Because FPX just went towards a bunch of champions they're very strong at. They went towards Comfort, and IG did have an answer. IG did have the Taric. So are we going to maybe see a ban come out, or are we going to see FPX pivot their first 3 picks? So then something like that can't come out, or even if you do go that route, just ban it on 4-5.
Well, we'll have to say, and we will have a live draft for the first time today, for us two at least, for our second game, as we have caught up to